Years Business School. And so as a part of our welcome, I'm going to give you a quick overview about who we are and our recent achievement. We are the largest business school among Big Tens. And then this week and the next week, our business school will have over 2,700 students, undergraduate and graduate. Also, by the way, and our MBA job placement was ranked #1 in the US 2016 by Bloomberg. And last year by Financial Times 2017, we ranked #1 in the US, #9 in the world for return on investment for a business degree from Rutgers.
This is a seminar that I actually created about 5 years ago. Having worked at that time in the state over a quarter century, frankly, I got sick and tired of what was sort of the narrative about New Jersey. That our economy had peaked somewhere in the late 1980s. The pharmaceutical backbone of New Jersey was hollowing out. We still own the major companies, the Mercks and the Johnson & Johnsons and the others. Their headquarters are here, but they've been downscaling. They've been moving manufacturing first south and then overseas. So that narrative that is often talked about regarding New Jersey sounds like we have got to put up with a new reality of a contracted economy, a less competitive economy, and therefore, you know, this is the destiny going forward. I started looking at that hard in 2006, actually before Sandy, when I was asked by Governor Corzine to join his Energy Master Plan team. And looking at that master plan opportunity, you started seeing not the declining part of the economy, but the growing part of the economy. Those firms which are new, coming up, entrepreneurial, small, medium-sized organizations that aren't on the state radar as you think about the large employers in the state, but that indeed were the most dynamic sectors. So about 5 years ago, I put together this seminar not to decry what we don't have, not to say, well, we're fortunate to have a smaller nut, but at least it's ours, but to say, wait a minute, just below the surface, in and among us, in some ways hidden, less so now because there's momentum, there is dynamism, growth, opportunity, public-private ventures. There is a lot of yeast going into this bread.
In thinking about where are the entrepreneurs, I truly believe, that there's an entrepreneur in every single human being. The difference is that for many, it's a dormant attribute, and for others, they kind of take that leap and then create or license their idea and make something happen with respect to their ideas. Because it's not so much about the ideas, it's about making the ideas happen. So then the question is, how do we fare in New Jersey? And I'm a believer in New Jersey. Out of the 10 companies, 8 were founded in New Jersey, and in every form of organization that exists, various different forms. So I'm a believer. What do we have going for us? We've got human capital, lots of amazing talent and diversity of talent from experience, gender, ethnicity, language, education, geographic upbringings, etc.
But EDA, in case you don't know who we are, is a self-supporting independent state agency whose mission is to stimulate business development, job creation, and community revitalization throughout the state. We promote economic growth through financing assistance, technical support, and real estate development activities. It's such a unique organization. When we look at other states, we combine what other states do in independent agencies and departments into one. And so we have a really a stand-up unit that does real estate development. We have a banking component, which Mark references my group, but we also do policy, and we administer a lot of the programs that are legislatively driven.
We could produce, our productivity per square foot is about 390 times that of a field farmer in the New Jersey area. In Salinas, it's about 130 times. They just, because of the environment, the seasonality is different there than it is here. They have more crop cycles. We can net grow a plant in today 15 days. Last year it was 16 days. Today it's 15 days. We're 23 crop turns a year versus 3 in Salinas. We could, for most varieties, we could grow a plant using 95% less water. We have no river runoff. So the metrics were there. Other problems, I wanted to build a company that had social good as part of its priorities.
I think I would just start by saying two things about, Newark's revitalization, quote unquote. One is that organizations like ours, raised New Community Corporation, United Vailsburg Services, etc. We've been here through, next year is our 50th anniversary. So, been here since right after the 67 disturbances. And I think our organizations have essentially kept neighborhoods stable through the years, doing the best part we can through direct services, affordable housing development and the like, and other types of initiatives. And I think going forward, the question, certainly from our vantage point at Iron Mountain Community Corporation, is how do we have a just transition to the future? How do we have equitable development? How are the principles and the concerns of equity and justice primary in the discussion at all points in time, never secondary? How do we uplift the people of Newark without uprooting them? That is, how does revitalization take place without displacing people and without leaving people behind?
The challenges for nonprofit in this community are great, but at the same time, as Joe suggested, during these last 50 years when Newark was sort of on the downward trend, it was organizations like La Casa, Ironbound Communities, Unified Vailsburg, really what we call the anchor institutions, that basically supported the neighborhood by providing basic services, by preserving housing, fighting for tenants' rights, getting ourselves involved in any number of controversies that go into making the life of the city. And that continues to be the case, whether it's the inclusionary zoning or whether it's local control of the school board or the quality of work in schools, in our schools.
NJPAC is the 5th largest performing arts, not-for-profit performing arts center in the country. We have a budget of about $45 million. We'll reach about 500,000 people just here on site. About 400 live events a year.
The narrative is changing. Part of my job is also to make sure that equity is part of this discussion. Having worked at an anchor institution for more than a dozen years, I understand how important this is, but I also understand, having now been in the room with a lot of individual artists who've been part of the Newark for ages. Newark is a big jazz city, tons of visual arts here, not just in our museums, but in our galleries and shops. Artists are, as they have been in a lot of cities, they feel like they helped create the change, but now they're going to get pushed out with all the wonderful leaning towers that are rising. So my job is also, how can we be a different kind of city where we can experience growth, where we can experience development, but also see how we connect with our anchors, with our neighborhoods. Is there equity? And both of my colleagues on either side are really working with Newark Arts to see how we can create an equitable growth in Newark.
We build future leaders, the arts. And all of us have arts education programs as core. We always have since the museum opened. But when you expose children to the arts, and I could go on and on with those statistics, but kids that are involved in arts programs, that participate in the arts, and I bet many of you have heard this, they have higher GPAs. They're less likely to drop out of high school, which is really critical here in Newark. They are more likely to go to college. We have a college preparatory program that's been running for almost 30 years at the museum, and it's almost as intense as your guys' program.